We are live. This is an emergency broadcast. I really don't know all of the details, so we're going to be figuring this out together. I don't know what this is or what's going on, but I'm going to give you all a little bit of what I've seen so far, and I'm going to just tune in to, let's go here. I was actually outside power washing my deck, and yeah, this went down. Shout out to my little bro Gio, who called me and was like, hey, they said something about Trump. And I'm like, what? And he was like, I said, let me go look at TV. Yeah, let's see. All right. I think I can go here. And there we go. Yep.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
So that sounds like gunshots to me. I know they've been saying that they're talking about these were noises. That sounds like gunfire.
Moving to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go. Up. Hawkeye's here. You ready?
Okay, we are watching live at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, where former President Trump was speaking on the stage. There has been some kind of disturbance that clearly sets law enforcement and Secret Service into motion, immediately jumping around the former president in a protective mode. The crowd has been screaming. They are standing by. You can hear some voices there saying, are we ready to go? Are we ready to go? We are looking at President Trump. This does not look good. I'm going to be honest with you. From what we can see right here, it looks like they are attempting to move him out, that he may have been injured.
I like that right there.
He is holding up his arm.
Fight!
He is pumping his fist, but clearly Secret Service wants to get him out of this situation.
Yeah. So that's what it was. That's what we saw.
I'm sorry, Congressman Garcia. Something has happened at the Trump. Oh, we see Donald Trump there at a rally in Pennsylvania. You can see his face. There's blood coming from his ear. Not exactly sure what has happened, but those are Secret Service agents trying to pull Donald Trump off the stage. He's pumping his fist in the air. The crowd is chanting USA, USA. Again, this is live. This is live from a Trump rally in Pennsylvania. In Butler, Pennsylvania, former President Donald Trump, something happened, clearly some kind of an attack. You see there clearly blood on his right ear as Secret Service try to push him into the SUV. Earlier, as we came on, you saw the former president pumping his fist in the air as the Secret Service agents tried to get him off the stage. They have succeeded in getting him into the armored SUV. They will be taking him, clearly, they will be taking him away from that scene. And as you know, we here at NBC News and MSNBC News will do extensive
this shit is wild,
reporting
man.
to find out exactly what happened. But again, you're looking at live pictures from Butler, Pennsylvania, where a Trump rally has come to an abrupt end after the former president was attacked. Attacked how, we're not sure. But when we came live on air, you could see the former president in profile, blood coming from his right ear. As Secret Service agents tried to take him from the stage, he pumped his fist in the air multiple times. They were able to get him off the stage. They were able to get him into the armored SUV. He had only been speaking about 5 minutes at that rally.
Hey there, we love you. And
All right.
that was commented on the last time around, and we've seen it in the 24 cycle as well.
So to me,
Wow, this
it
is
definitely sounds like
unprecedented in
gunfire.
America. It shows a
I will say
connection
this,
with the people and with the values.
because I know people are going to go
The
way
convention
conspiracy
next week, I
theory.
think it's going to be the We Love You convention.
And I will say that if this was our government, sadly enough to say, if this was our government, they would have got him. So I believe that this is what, if you want to call it, this is probably an outsourced fucking attack. So whoever's behind it, ultimately, they outsource. And the reason why I say that is because they just missed him. They just missed them. And I would say that with them just missing them, here's another thing that I'm just in me thinking and what I know about just shooting. For them to miss the way they did, this person had to be far as fuck away from him. He had to be pretty goddamn far to miss by that much. Because, I mean, that was close. And to be that close, you had to be pretty goddamn far. So I don't know the layout. I don't know. I just know they're in Pennsylvania. I don't know what is it? Butler, Pennsylvania. I don't know exactly where they are, but I will say this, for them to miss like that, whoever that shooter was or shooters were, they were pretty fucking far. Because, and even if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that when you go to these, this isn't just like an open field where you just show the fuck up. I believe you have to get like screened and patted down, and they actually got to know who the fuck you are. I think you have to actually go through and get, checked in. I don't think you can just show. I've never been to a Trump rally. Hell, I've never been to a rally, period. But I don't believe that you can just show the fuck up and walk up like on the grassy knoll and say, hey, what's happening? I believe in order for you to be in there, in that area there, you have to be screened. You have to be checked in. I'm sure they wander you or whatever the case may be. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man, but I will say this. This ain't good. And the reason why I'm saying that is because this can go in a lot of different places. This can go a lot of different ways. And if this is the left or the left wing cabal, I don't give a fuck who it is. These people that are against Trump, if this is the route that they want to go, then this just further puts not just our democracy, but our entire way of life at risk. That's just what this is. This is where the rubber meets the road when it comes to the country not being divided, but being literally fractured, split. Because I'm telling you right now, if something happens to this man for whatever reason, over the next 5 years, it's going to be very problematic. It's going to be very, very problematic. And I'm talking unprecedented, never seen before type of shit. And the reason being is because there are so many people that are not just necessarily supporting Donald Trump, but that believe and support what he stands for. That if you come after that, people are going to have a sense of despair to say, if they'll do it to him, then what the fuck do you think they think about us? That's just what that is. Let's listen in some more.
But yeah, your thoughts about the Ten Commandments being put back into some schools, but also words of advice for the people that are watching, sir.
Yeah, first of all, I think that we have turned some significant corners judicially in the last couple of years, even in the last month. The Supreme Court has been issuing some very, very good decisions that have been correcting mistakes of the past 5 decades. We've seen it in the area of religious freedom.
Okay, wait, he's talking about something
area
else, so let's try to switch it up.
To really shocking scenes that we saw play out in Butler, Pennsylvania, just not long ago. This evening at a campaign rally.
Oh shit!
For former
I thought
President
this was
Trump.
goddamn news.
Security,
I mean, let's go back here. I thought that's it. I thought I was looking at Fox News, but hang on. Let's see if I can find it.
Not that long ago, really, took prayer and the commandments and the Bible reading out of our schools. And we're going to get those back again. There's no, because, I mean, they've already, the court has already put a big crack in that dam. We saw the Coach Kennedy case. We saw the jettisoning of what's called the Lemon decision. Many of our viewers know what that is, but basically it's the court.
Oh, okay, here we go. I was just on the wrong page. I'm sorry.
Right, and
yeah,
it's
here
like,
we go.
Well, you take religion out of public life. You take the commandments out of public life.
We've all talked about it. We've seen examples of it, political violence. This is something that law enforcement has been bracing itself for in this campaign season, is it not?
Without a doubt, Lester, I've lost track of the amount of times you and I have talked about it privately in the offices. We've reported on it. The FBI director, in an interview with you directly, said that he was concerned about this type of thing. Lester, and so I think everybody's been concerned about the potential issues, the potential things that could come up during the course of this election, given how divided the country is, given the level of threats. And so that's something that people are acutely focused on, for sure.
All right, Tom, thanks very much. I'll let you get back to your reporting and working out more details as this story develops here tonight. Let's bring in Evie Pomporis, a former Secret Service agent, joining me on the telephone right now. Can you give us a sense from what you have seen, give us your professional eye of what appears to transpire here?
Yes, so what we're seeing is him attending a rally, speaking at the rally, and then we hear the shots. That it almost sounds like these soft popping sounds. So we hear these multiple shots. We see him put his hand to his ear, and then you see the agents come in. Those agents
move that fucking podium out the way. Yeah.
For them to come in like that, that means this is a serious threat. Something serious happened. We're also seeing the tactical team, and we're looking at the live shot. The shot of the tactical team. That's the element that comes in. When you see the tactical team, their job is to look for the threat. So you have two entities here.
And I'm going to say this. I just got to say it. Y'all know how I am. This is yet another reason why you don't have women on the front line. That bitch ain't strong enough to hold up 45. She's just not strong enough. And she's fucking struggling in the fucking way as usual. These female police officers, man, y'all gotta take these motherfuckers, get them out the way. She's fucking struggling trying to get down those steps. Yes, because she's a fucking woman. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. Put her ass somewhere else, but she does not need to be in that spot right now. You need a strong ass dude. Donald Trump is like fucking 6'4", 6'5". about a good 260. You don't need some motherfucking woman. She can't fucking hold him. She's just not strong enough. Get her the fuck out the way. She's short and she's not strong enough. That's exactly why you want a man up under him, because he can actually carry that dude. He's tall. He can help block the fucking field of view to that man's head. God damn, man. We always just trying to put a woman in some shit.
Shift comes in, immediately comes on top of the president.
Look at her ass, struggling.
Surround him and to make sure that the shots hit them. The tactical element that we see come in after, their job is to move out, and we see them facing out toward the crowd, and they are to look for the threat. Clearly, we see the agents that get around him. They shield him, and then they
Two
move
women. Goddamn. Trump, you got to change that shit.
So that nothing strikes him. They move him slowly down the stairs and make their way to the armored vehicles. That's what we're looking at. Now, Lester, if we're looking at how did this happen, again, this is all alleged, nothing's been confirmed. But if we're looking at what's going on here, what went, and it's soon to say, but how does such a thing happen? When you have rallies like this, ideally, you're supposed to have magnetometers. So that's going to be the first thing they're going to look at. Were there magnetometers, right? How did this weapon get in? Sometimes when it's a former president, you may not have
was
all
Whoopi Goldberg. Y'all ain't
elements
shit.
that a sitting president would have, right? All the tactical capabilities. So it's going to be, how did that weapon get in? Were there magnetometers? Were people checked for weapons? And then from that point, where was that person positioned, right? How were they able to get in and get that angle of a shot?
Well, as we look at these pictures again, as you described, the former president being rushed into that vehicle to be taken away from the scene, I keep thinking about what's happening in the crowd. Unfortunately, the cameras aren't pointing on the crowd, but given the number of pops or potential shots we heard, it seems a lot of people were at risk. You've covered these events, no doubt, as have I. A lot of people wanting to get close to their candidate. That's part of what happens in a campaign. How does the Secret Service draw the balance there as to create, a fortress of security at the same time, allowing people to do what people should be doing at rallies like this?
So let's go to your first point where there's people there. When you do these events, and I've done these events, it's called a site advance. When you secure an event like this, you're the site agent. So you have two goals, two missions. I am to protect the President of the United States, right? However, the other goal or mission is the people at this event. So yes, they're targeting, or let's say assuming, right, that again, we don't have confirmation. But when someone is targeting the President, right, if they're going to shoot, yes, he's an issue, but also the people.
Y'all need to get it off y'all chest.
Where are all these rounds going? So when we hear
all right, bro, we can do that.
Small, these echoes of what appear to be
That's
shots.
what we here for.
Shots.
Let's do
There
it,
were
man.
multiple shots.
Y'all
And
wanna
every round, Lester,
come
has
on
to
up,
go
man?
somewhere.
Give me
It
1
lands
second. I'll set it
somewhere.
up.
Where are they going? So you've got all these people. So you are responsible not just for the safety of the U.S. president, but you are responsible for the people there. The president, think of him as he's a target, right? Wherever he moves, danger goes with him just because of what he attracts as a sitting U.S. president or a former president or a candidate. So when you put them in a place like this, you also have to think strategically, what about all the people there? Now, you'll see the barricades that are set up. You see the stage that's set up. What you may not see in that shot is you will have ingress and egress elements. That means you want multiple ways in and multiple ways out. So you want movement for the president. You also want to create an alternate movement for him if he can't get out the primary way. So we've got typically at least two ways in,
there we go.
2 ways out. And those vehicles that are staged there, they are positioned there specifically to evacuate him. Because also you're in an open area here, right? So you don't have that concealment to cover. You have
Steve said he's dead. They caught this motherfucker? Oh, wow.
Site issues, meaning you can get the threat from so many different ways, so many different areas. And just one thing to touch on, too, typically after an event like this, it's typically the FBI who comes in to do the investigation of what happened, right? So it's...
Oh, shit, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. My bad. Hold on, Dion. Let me get that shit together. There we go. Put
How
that
much
back.
does
And
local
then
law enforcement know about potential threats? Maybe somebody in the crowd who has, written a nasty email.
All right, there we go. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on, Brian?
Not much, man. What's your thoughts, man? What's happening?
Man, you know what, man? This is something that we should have expected to happen sooner or later, because when you don't hold people accountable for their actions, and I'm gonna go all the way back to that last election. I'm gonna tell you something that people don't want to admit or connect dots on is this. There's a difference between Republicans and Democrats. Everything that happened leading up to that last election, they blamed Democrats, their followers, the politicians. They took every incident they could and divide this country. George Floyd, you had BLM out there, you had Antifa out there. If you notice, they all had one common agenda. We're going to get our way. We're going to keep breaking the law. But what they want to do was terrorize people and get away with it. And we allowed them to get away with it. And the shit they were selling us was, you even had politicians, Maxine Waters said, we're going to keep, wherever you see Republicans that, get in their face and make sure you let them know they're not welcome.
Punch them in the face, Yep.
When you do shit like that, you're the side that's pushing violence, because when people hear their political leaders push that rhetoric, they think it's okay to actually act crazy to one another. And this whole belief was, I knew people who supported Trump who said, I'm going to vote Democrat just so these people will stop wilding out. They said they'll stop if we just give them their way. I said, give them their fucking way, and they're going to keep fucking with you. This is what they do. You did not see conservatives and Republicans doing this same shit. You got January 6th, where you had people react to, like, after all the shit we endured during this whole election, y'all blame George Floyd. That's Trump's fault. Every cop incident, for some reason, politicians would jump on it and relate it back to, it's because of the guy you got in the White House. You didn't see Republicans, and you didn't see any of our political representatives going out and getting like holding events to get bond money to get January 6 people bailed out. But you always see this shit from Democrats, man. I don't care how you cut it. You can say what you want to. I'm not saying either side is the greatest thing in the world. I'm just saying that one side is fucking nuts, crazy, and they will do anything to keep power. The other side, they might just not fuck with you. They might not give you nothing free, but they won't fuck with you from going to earn your shit either.
Right.
But this is what you get when you inspire crazy shit. There's ain't but one side who's been calling. You can go, if you ever watch the fucking View with Whoopi Goldberg and them, they've said 1,000,000 times they want something to happen to Trump.
Happen to him. Yep.
They said it 1,000,000 times.
That right there is the difference, though, when you're talking about both sides. They are actively wanting something to happen to him, and they are actively trying to divide the country. The thing about people that are on the right, or the Republicans or conservatives, we just want what we want. It's not we want it at your expense. It's not we want to do what we want to do, and we want to crush you with whatever it is you want to do, because it's not what we want to do. That's the difference between the two sides. Because yes, there's fuckery on both sides, but the people that are on the right, the conservative Republicans, are not trying to destroy you while I'm enriching myself. And the people on the Republican side just want to say, I just want to get as much as I can. Yes, I want to enrich myself.
Right. So, and the thing about it is that the same people who keep pushing for the violence, if they actually got what they wanted, do they? I don't know how you feel, but my thing is this. If you go get any of these country-ass white boys, these God-fearing patriots, and you get conservative black people, I mean, people who are just conservative and want to be left the fuck alone, you don't want to fuck with those people. Right. Once you say it's all out, like, dude, if I went to my goddamn storage unit, you know what I mean? Fucking how many rounds of ammo I got in there, and I'm not saying I'm not no crazy motherfucker, but I say I stock up just so I can have shit. So when they say there's a shortage at the store, supplies ran out, like you don't see these Negroes and Democrats training at the gun ranges and shit. They are not ready for what they want. And then the killer part about it is The same people in the military, the same police officers that you think is going to protect you. If there's a goddamn civil war, them people are going to protect their families and what they truly believe in. And you're going to find out the vast majority of them people are fucking conservatives. The vast majority. They just doing their job to get a check. If you ask most of them people on Border Patrol, they tell you in a minute, no, we support Trump. Like when Biden told that lie, them dudes support Trump. If it comes down to it, the vast majority of people love country, they love their family, and they're gonna do what's right. They ain't gonna be down with no crazy lunatic shit like these people are doing, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's such a small percentage of these left-leaning people that are crazy. But what we don't realize is that those people, they live in gated communities. They live in safe neighborhoods. They don't have to worry about, the shit hitting the fan and coming to their areas first. It's not going to happen that way.
Yep.
It's going to be the people, them people that are in their ivory towers that especially black folks tend to want to follow and support.
Yep.
Those people are so far removed from y'all day-to-day lives. That's why they say the outlandish shit that they say. Like, we don't need guns. Yep. And y'all are sitting there saying, yeah, they right. Yeah, if I'm fucking Bill Maher living in my fucking $25 million mansion in the hills of California, absolutely I don't need no fucking gun up there. But if I'm in fucking Skid Row, try to survive a week.
Look at Brian. If you take all that shit we seen that last election during that summer of love, if you take any of those Black Lives Matter or Antifa people that was going around burning down motherfucking cities and shit, and you actually told other folks, if you just told the police, man, go ahead, handcuffs, do what y'all want to do. Do what y'all want to do to protect yourself. That should have been shut down.
Yep.
People allow you to act the goddamn fool, and for some reason you think that they're scared of you. They're not scared of you. They're just allowing you to act the goddamn fool. Yes. When they get tired of allowing you to act the fool, and they say, all right, I'm gonna fight back, let somebody tell them, like that white couple that got arrested. I forgot what state it was in, but you remember the husband and wife that came outside with their guns when Black Lives Matter?
That was in St. Louis.
They was like, man, fuck that bullshit. We done. Shit. There's a lot of people just like them, but the problem is that them, like yourself and like me, we sit back and say, I got a family and I got a lot to lose. I can't drag. I know right now they're going to drag me to the court and break me. I got a whole bunch of shit that I don't want to lose. But when the time is up and that shit don't matter no more,
right?
Them people are the worst people you want to know. You do not want to fuck with those people.
Exactly what he.
You don't want to fuck with them.
Bro, you are preaching.
They are holding themselves back.
That's the, if you want to call it the sleeper cell, if you will. It's those people that are living in the affluent suburbs that are maybe first, maybe second generation. Hey, we have a little bit of money and we're able to take care of our kids and our family. We're able to preserve the life we have to where, like me, I work too fucking hard to let this shit go to waste. And if the shit hits the fan and a motherfucker hits the reset button, you best believe I'm going to be right out there with my white and Hispanic neighbors ready to fucking end anybody that tries to infringe on this shit here.
Yep. And we have this small belief. I don't know, I understand why we still keep thinking, you know what, law enforcement's going to get it right. The politicians are going to get it right. They're going to see this crazy shit and put a stop to it. But if they don't, that's the reason why you have a fucking gun, man. Just in case they don't. I mean, I don't go nowhere without a pistol. I got plenty of fucking guns and rifles.
Exactly.
I don't intend on hurting nobody, but I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
I have it.
At the end of the day. But when it comes down to it, man, I have no problem when you start pointing shit at me. If you come down and try to kick in my motherfucking door with some Antifa, like, you got to hide your fucking face. Exactly. And for some, and you skinny ass white dude, or whatever the fuck it is, I'm just keeping it real. The vast majority of the motherfuckers I saw was white people. Antifa.
And I believe some of those motherfuckers to a degree, some of those people that cause that chaos, that put on these masks and so-called Antifa, I believe a lot of those people are plants. I believe that they're fucking government agents that are put in place to do that shit. Like when they showed that fucking what was it, like a U-Haul van or some shit, like U-Haul truck last week where it was like 30 or 40 motherfuckers hopped out this U-Haul van. Like, first of all, who the fuck travels like that?
Right.
Second of all of these motherfuckers was pretty much the same size, all physically fit. How do you find a group of people like that? You get 40 or 50 motherfuckers that's all physically fit, all wearing masks in the back of a U-Haul?
Yeah, last time you saw a bunch of motherfuckers crammed into the back of a U-Haul going to the event was like the All-Star game for the NBA All-Star game. You got all them damn black women going down there in the U-Haul.
Exactly.
Trying to come up
get a baby.
Trying to get a bag, but for the most part, like I said, the people you need to be worried about are the people that y'all think y'all punking. They are restraining themselves because if they don't, they have something to lose. As soon as one of them motherfuckers take their fucking rifle or their gun and defend themselves, they know you coming to take their shit from them. They didn't work too hard for them. That's all it is. They're just restraining themselves.
And the reason why you're so right, is because that shit is part of my decision making.
Me too.
One of the main reasons why I did not move to Atlanta, because when I decided to move, Atlanta was one of the places we talked about. But the reason why I didn't, it was literally because I knew so many niggas from Chicago that moved there, which let me know it's just a matter of time before I wind up deleting one of these niggas.
Deleting one of them. Exactly.
That's how I move. And that's exactly what I said. I don't have to go there. I don't have to be there. There's nothing there that I got to be there. The opportunity is there, everything. So I say, you know what? Let me take them off the list because I know me.
Yep. Because the biggest regret you'll have is when you're sitting in that interview room, you'll be sitting there. Man, I just shot 3 or 4 motherfuckers. You'll be sitting there saying, I knew I shouldn't have moved here. I told myself not to do this.
Yes.
I don't know why I did this. I would put myself in this situation.
Yep. I would be like, I knew it was too many niggas from Chicago that I knew that was going down there. I said, no, I don't need to go down there because I know what type of niggas they are. And if they down there, I know it's a lot more like them. And I'm gonna wind up deleting one or two of them niggas. I said, because I'm not playing, especially with my family. I just had my daughter when we had, my daughter was at that time, I think she was like 4, when we had started the process of moving. And I was like, I got to come home. And if that means you and your boys going to get deleted, that's just what it is. So I said, let me go somewhere else where that shit is less likely to happen. Wound up in Texas.
Yeah, man.
Yep. Yeah, you breaking up, bro. Yeah, you sound like a transformer.
How about now?
All right, there you go. You back now. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Yeah, but like I said, this is a build-up when you don't hold people accountable and you keep letting people. It's like having kids. You keep letting your kid a goddamn fool, they're gonna become more brazen. They're gonna say, "Let me try some other shit." It seemed like I got away with the other shit. Think about how many people burnt the country down just to change a fucking election, and the news kept saying they were protesting peacefully. When people hear shit like that, they're like, man, we can do whatever the fuck we want to. Snatch and grabs. When you're not locking people up and charging them with shit, people act fucking crazy, man. It just is what it is.
Yep. That's it, man. And it's like that's one of the things that it's like when you're talking about just the decisions that we make and the things that we choose to support and all of the it's so important to just think past not just the initial moment or the thought of you doing something different, but how that all plays out and what it looks like 5 years from now.
Yep.
10 years from now. It's like, do you really want to, I think they're saying that that they caught this dude.
That's good.
Oh, hopefully shit, that's good. And they saying he dead. Yeah. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up. Wow. Yeah, but that Antifa shit, man, dude, that ain't nothing but outsourced fuckery, man. That's all those dudes are. And I'm just saying that whole thing of us wearing masks and shit like that, it is giving people like them this certain level of anonymity to where it's like, you think they just wearing masks, but it's like, no, they wearing masks because they ages, dude. That's just what that shit is. Let's see, Trump shooter. Yeah, man.
About because
You done went digital. You going digital? Hey, digital. Hey, digital. You a transformer, bro. Yep. You may need to drop down and come back because you done froze up. Yep. Yeah. Let's see what they're saying.
And again, that moment of chaos, you hear the screams in the crowd as people are beginning to learn that something is amiss there. Our investigative correspondent, Tom Winter, is with us on the phone. He continues to get reaction and national security details. What can you tell us now?
Yeah, this is
Lester,
wild.
while I'm on the phone with you, one of my colleagues is on the phone with the local district attorney in that county who tells NBC News that the alleged shooter, the person they believe responsible for this event, is in fact deceased. So again, to repeat, the local district attorney in the area where the Trump rally is telling one of our colleagues right now that in fact the alleged shooter, the person they believe to be responsible for this, is deceased. We do not yet have a name or identity of that individual. We don't know their background, where they may have come from, any sort of personal motivations. That's information we're still trying to gather. But that's the headline. The second component of this, 3 senior U.S. law enforcement officials tell myself and colleague Jonathan Deans that there appear to have been, or they're looking into whether or not several other individuals were shot that were in the crowd. Those are not individuals suspected to be involved in this. Those were either rally goers or bystanders, but they're looking into whether at least 2 other individuals were shot as well. So that's the latest update that would seem to indicate to us a couple of things. One, they believe they know who did this. They believe they know where they were, potentially what they were using, and they can now start to do a lot of detailed investigative work. We don't know, although there is no indication at this time, that any other individual was involved. But obviously, it's very early and very preliminary on that front, and a lot more work will presumably need to be done.
Yeah, let me just follow up on that. I think you may have answered the question, but we did hear from one witness a bit earlier who seemed to believe that there were 2 individuals involved. You're saying that the local DA is saying 1 shooter is deceased. So the belief is that it is a single shooter?
The belief at this time is that that's the case, because what they said was that the person they believe is responsible is deceased. So they did not indicate that there were any other individuals. But that's, again, Lester, as you well know, we're less than 2 hours into this, and so there's a lot of information, a lot of things that are fluid on the ground. And just because this individual may or may not have been assisted by others at this rally, did they have any sort of help in any other way? Those are big questions that'll be answered in the next couple of minutes or hours. Typically, based on past events, as you know, this is usually just 1 individual that's involved. But of course, investigators have to keep their minds open. And as reporters who are relying on that information, the investigation that is going on in our own homework, we're keeping our minds open too.
And Tom, you and your team certainly have a huge depth of experience in these kind of breaking news matters, especially when they involve issues like what we're seeing play out here. Is it likely this thing is going to unfold very quickly, that they will work backwards from the moment of the shooting and have a pretty good idea of what they're dealing with?
So let's take for law enforcement worst case scenario with respect to the investigation. If this individual had no identity on him, no sort of background, the FBI would be able to instant fingerprint him at the scene. They would be able to get information, and either that way they'd look into facial recognition to see if they could identify him in any sort of government database. From there, you might know where the individual lives, any relatives. They will comb through every inch and ounce of his social media. They will have the ability to go to social media companies and ask for an emergency warrant, and they will most certainly be granted to get access to those communications, cell phone communications, text communications.
Tom,
all of that will be part of the instant investigation.
I apologize to ask you a question, then I have to interrupt you, but we are getting some confirmation. The Butler County DA is now telling us that one spectator has died in this incident. 1 has been apparently wounded and is in critical condition, and the shooter, as Tom has been reporting, is dead. So To repeat that news, and this comes via the Butler County DA, one spectator at this Trump rally is dead. Another is in critical condition, and the shooter, what we believe right now at this hour, the lone shooter, is also dead. And as our colleague Tom Witter was reporting, they will work very quickly and work backwards, and will likely know a lot about this individual in a short amount of time. You see former President Trump trying to acknowledge the crowd while being
It's probably Secret Service, but your mic is
being led
terrible.
to the safety of an armored vehicle, but it appears that he is okay, suffering what we've all been able to see, some sort of a graze type wound. To his ear.
No. You know what? Let me see if I can
take it off the car.
Let me try my other phone.
He continues to turn toward the crowd to offer a sense of assurance that he is okay. He is now clear of that scene as people continue to leave. All of them.
And if anybody else want to hit the link, man, and give me your thoughts, man, y'all come on right on up, man.
One woman we
it's already in the description. I mean, it's in the chat already. So y'all just let me know.
Her account certainly jibes with what we're getting now from the officials in Butler County, Pennsylvania, and that is the crowd here trying to rally their spirits. And certainly this was several minutes apparently into the former president's rally there in Pennsylvania when this occurred. Multiple what sounded like shots pops.
These motherfuckers, man.
But we presume there were gunshots fired in his direction as he was looking to the right, and a little unclear. He grabs his ear, and then you can see this team of Secret Service agents can quickly swarm him, confirm that he is clear, out of danger, the risk nullified, and then he is escorted to his vehicle and to safety. That area you're looking at right now is a crime scene. We've seen subsequent pictures where you see the police crime tape, and they will treat it as any other crime scene and try to get the details of this. We don't know what this means in terms of the exact injury that former President Trump received, what treatment he may be receiving, what this will do to his ability to campaign. We certainly, of course, expect to see him in this coming week as the Republican National Convention is about to begin on Monday in Milwaukee. So RNC officials certainly trying to figure that out. But right now, the greatest concern is from that angle is the health of the former president. And of course, thoughts also turning now to the one spectator who was killed in this, another spectator who was in critical condition from a wound sustained during all this. NBC's Dasha Burns is just outside that Trump rally north of Pittsburgh. She has been giving us plenty of updates here. Dasha, as you've heard, we've now been able to confirm that at least one spectator has been killed in this, and the shooter himself is dead.
Lester, just for those who are joining us in this moment, just a reminder that our team, we were in the press pen when this happened. We were in front of a camera, just getting off camera as the former president started to speak. Just a few minutes into his speech, this transpired. We ran for cover as we were trying to figure out what exactly had happened, initially thinking it was fireworks, then realizing it could be something more serious. And now, of course, we know deadly. I am in the parking lot right now, just outside of this venue. This is where press and general attendees have had their cars parked. This is where we evacuated to when we were told to leave the site that is now a crime scene. And I've been running into witnesses here as people have been trying to find their cars, trying to make their way out. And that is where I ran into a man named Joseph, and I want to introduce him to you now. And as we just learned, Joseph, you weren't listening to the program here, but Lester Holt, NBC News, just reporting that one of the attendees has deceased, has died from injuries as a result of the shooting. Joseph, you told me off camera that you may have witnessed this, and I'm so sorry to be talking to you in this tragic moment, but can you describe what it is that you saw?
I was attending the rally. I was in the set of bleachers, the very far left of the podium where President Trump was speaking. I was there with friends. I heard several gunshots. The man beside me suffered a gunshot wound to the head. Was instantly killed. Fell to the bottom of the bleachers. Another woman looked like she got hit in the forearm or hand. And then at that point in time, It was rather chaotic at that point because half the people were looking because they thought it was fireworks. I knew it was gunshots right away. My friend, he hit the deck. I was kind of looking around just trying to see where the shots were coming from. It seemed to me like the shots were coming from behind the bleachers. It seemed to me the man got hit in the head from behind. He was killed instantly, as far as I could tell. And at that point, a state police and a SWAT team, started evacuating the bleachers, and then I helped carry the man out of the bleachers to a tent that was behind the bleachers.
You helped carry the man yourself. What was his condition when you were carrying him?
He's deceased.
Wow.
He died.
How close were you to him?
A couple yards. I mean, it wasn't very far.
Did you know the man?
No, it's a police ranger. They put a towel over his head and then carried him off.
And you said there was another woman nearby who was also injured. Where was she in relation to him?
I believe she was in the bleachers, like either above me or just to the side of him. But it seemed like she was kind of at my flank, and then she flinched, and it looked like she had taken a gunshot wound to the forearm and hand.
Joseph, from where I was standing, we heard multiple gunshots, 8 to 11 shots. We've been hearing it replayed on the video here. Do you remember, can you tell, I know it was a chaotic scene, but at what point, was it immediately when you heard the gunshots that he was shot, or was it later on into the firing?
The first 7, he was hit and she was hit within the first 7 shots. I counted 7 shots.
What was going through your mind? You were right there. I know it happened so quickly, but what can you tell us about those moments?
First, I was in shock because I know what gunshots sound like, so I knew they were gunshots. I couldn't tell from where they were coming from. And when I noticed someone got hit, then I noticed, well, it seemed like they were coming from behind me. And it just was pandemonium. And then I heard some more shots, and I couldn't quite tell where they were coming from. But I counted the first 7, and they were very loud and very close. And it killed one man and wounded another woman.
And Joseph, you told me that you're a doctor, you're an OBGYN. How did that background play into how quickly you were sort of able to assess the situation and know what happened to these individuals and know what was going on?
Well, I told the police, I tried to render assistance. I told the police I could render assistance. They had another physician on the EMT team, so they kind of took over. So they didn't really need me, so I kind of helped carry him down initially out of the bleachers. There wasn't, the man that got hit, there was no assistance that needed to be given. And unfortunately, his family witnessed the whole thing. It seemed like he had several family members in the bleacher with him. And they were quite upset. They didn't know, they were in shock. They didn't quite know what's going on. But the man was definitely killed instantaneously.
Could you tell sort of how many family members or people who knew him were with him, and what was their reaction?
I thought there was 5 people. 2 of them were relatively hysterical.
Yeah.
So, but they were, when we took the man out of the bleachers, he went to the tent. There was an aid tent or some type of tent behind the bleachers where they took the body, and they immediately evacuated the family with them. And 2 out of the 5, it seemed like, in shock, hysterical. Like they were still trying to process what was going on.
Joseph, from where I was standing, we heard the shots. We saw the president go down.
Yeah, I saw President Trump get hit.
What can you tell us? What details you remember?
It seemed like his head was off to the side, and it seemed like he got nicked in the ear.
Was that before the Secret Service took him down to the ground, covered him?
Right before the Secret Service. It was maybe, again, it's hard to tell, time dilates when, it seemed like it was a second or 2. Like that first 7 shots that went off, the man got hit. He was killed almost instantly. The woman in the bleachers, she got injured, like she got hit in the forearm and the hand. And then in those rounds that were fired, again, I was videoing the event, so that's when I saw Trump get hit. And it seemed to me like he was looking to the side and the round grazed his ear. So.
Could you tell the gentleman that was hit in the head what angle he was in relation to the former president, like which direction the bullets were coming from and to?
So it looked like he was facing the president at the very far left portion of the bleachers. So he's directly facing it. Again, it seemed to me like the shots were coming from the rear, like behind us. And for me, it seemed like the man was in the way. I guess.
In the way of the former president?
No, it seemed like the man was in the way of the shots between whoever was shooting the gun and the president. The man was hit. It seemed like he was in the crossfire.
And I know.
That's what it seemed like.
And I know you're in shock and still processing all of this. It's sort of hard to evaluate our own emotions in this moment. But you just experienced something horrific.
Yes.
What can you tell us about your state of mind right now?
Yeah, I've had opportunities to go to these rallies before. It was the first one I ever went to. Had time off to go do it. I was kind of excited to go, but it's everyone. It's something you don't expect. It comes out of the blue. It's like a bolt out of the blue, and it's
So a couple of things. Great question, Calvin. He says, "Is it possible to protect someone even with heavy security?" Yes and no. In this instance, the thing that you really have to be careful about is not so much of your principal or your primary. It's about what's going on around that. It's the people in the audience. It's the people in the buildings. It's the people that are on the fringes and those people that are like right there in the audience that you really have to be concerned about. The odds of someone literally walking up to someone like that and shooting them and being successful are slim to none, which is why, I mean, when you look at, perfect example is look at how Ronald Reagan got shot, and then look at how JFK got assassinated. There's a lot more planning and a lot more effort put into JFK than it was with Ronald Reagan. And so when you're talking about being close to somebody like that, when you're doing like, that's just that bodyguard protection, it's like you can see that kind of coming a little bit better than you can with what happened here. Because if it's multiple shooters, and if you have shooters in different directions, you really don't know where the shots are coming from. And the only people that can really nail down where the shots are coming from are the people that are going to be in close proximity of the shooter. So the only way you would have known where Lee Harvey Oswald was shooting from, if he was the one or one of the ones, is to be in close proximity to the shooter as opposed to being close proximity to the target. Because you want to be able to know, because even if you've ever shot a suppressed rifle before, when you shoot it, there's a delay. So you don't necessarily know where it's coming from when you're shooting suppressed, which is what this was. And it's like when you hear that sound, it can sound like it's coming from a different area. But if you're not close to the shooter, you're not going to be able to nail that and pinpoint that down. You're going to need other eyes to help assist you with that. So you kind of prefer, if that's to just say it this way, you would kind of prefer somebody to walk up and pull a gun out to try to shoot, because you can watch hands within, 5 to 15, 20 feet. You can see hands. You can see the motherfucker walking with their hands in their coat pocket, or the motherfucker in their pants pocket, or the guy that's under the suit jacket. You can see that because there's so much more action that has to occur in order for that person to hit that target. I got to pull my gun. I then have to present. Then I have to pull the trigger. So you have a little bit more time. If that's what you're looking for, especially when you're like moving through crowds, you're watching hands as opposed to trying to just watch people. Yes, you want to look at those people that stand out, like the person wearing the trench coat in 101-degree weather. Yes, you want to notice that person that got on all of the patriotic shit or got a mask on or whatever. Yes. But when it comes to just someone trying to physically attack you in close proximity, it's a lot easier to do that than when you got somebody who may be 50 yards or 100 yards away with a fucking high-powered rifle. Because the other part, too, all it takes is maybe one shot with that rifle. A motherfucker get hit with a 308, motherfuckers don't make that. They don't recover from that, especially if it's like a headshot. And the question that I was just thinking about when I saw this, I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to ask the question, and y'all in the chat can respond, and I want to hear from you, Dion. What if he didn't miss? What if the 45th president had fallen and deceased, what would the country look like and what would happen? What do you guys think would happen? Right now, today, let's just say if the shooter was successful and Trump is down, 45 is go.
Yeah, Brian, that's a good question, man. But shit, I think the country's moving closer and closer to, I don't want to say an all-out civil war, but I think that would be the thing that will push people over the edge because people are. I mean, if you think about it, do you think the media and Hollywoods are gonna tone down their rhetoric? Because I'm 50. I'm 50 years old. I've never in my life heard so many people say that one man is the devil. If he gets elected, I'm gonna leave the country and shit like that, or he's gonna kill us all. He's gonna start World War III. I've never heard it, and I'm only hearing it from one side. I mean, I don't recall when a Democrat takes the office. I wasn't leaving because Biden got in. You never see any Republicans or conservatives saying, if a Democrat gets in office, he's gonna
I'm
kill us
leaving the
all.
country.
I'm gonna
Yep.
leave the country.
Right.
I'm gonna do all this crazy shit. You never hear us having talk shows saying we gotta assassinate, we gotta kill him. We're not running around with makeshift heads, holding heads up, saying I'm gonna cut the head off like they do with Trump. It's only one side that acts this fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
And I do believe if they did something to that man, I think it would push real patriots or conservatives over the edge. I think they'd be like, I had enough. Especially if the person isn't caught. Because we all think that, I mean, it ain't that we think, we know that the government and the Democrats have been after this dude. Ever since 2016, they've been after that dude came into office under investigations for 4 years. You know, so we after watching this stuff for 4 years, you're like, damn. What I want to know is the media and these Hollywood people going to take any responsibility to rep? Because there's a lot of crazy people out there. All a crazy person needs is for you to co-sign on their crazy ass thoughts. I don't know if you. I can't stand people when I go over to my mother-in-law's house. The only thing she knows, she gets her information from the View. I try to tell her, I try to tell her, man, like, you know, and here's the thing, Brian. I don't know if you ever know if you got anybody in your family like this. You got anybody that when you tell them something that everybody's known for years, like for instance, anything about Joe Biden, like, yeah, Joe Biden made these racist statements, or he plagiarized, or he lied about something. This is all new to them. They've never heard it. I have family members that every time
Look here, man. Now, I don't give a fuck if y'all talk about me, but you niggas ain't gonna come up here talking about my mama, man. Leave my mama out this shit, dog. But yes, my mother is like that, dude. My mother is like that.
My mother-in-law, she watches The View. Only information she knows is what she hears on The View. If I tell her anything else, about like Trump, like, well, you know, this is what really happened, or this is what they're really talking about. They'd be like, are you serious? For real? It's like they are living in a fucking bubble, and the only info they get is that. And when I'm talking about accountability, is that there's a lot of crazy people out there. If you listen to The View and you listen to some of these Hollywood actors and whatnot, if you listen to them long enough, they'll make you think. You talk to the wrong person, they can push a crazy person to do something violent. You don't get too many. You don't have too many news media that's reporting for the on the Republican end, or any actors or celebrities that support Republicans that are advocating. They just out there every day preaching violence against Democrats. It doesn't matter of fact, I don't know any. I don't think it happens. But you can go all day listening to Democrat supporters. I'm talking about celebrities talking straight up crazy violent shit, and you'll be sitting there like, damn, this motherfucker's a celebrity.
This is what I've seen, why it's like that. And just like with my mom, she's so old and she is so used to her way of life and how she's been living for the past 30, 40 years. It's not that she doesn't want to change. She's afraid to change her mentality, her thought process. So she doesn't go out and seek the truth. She won't go out and try to research. You can tell her anything, and it's easier for her to accept it that way as opposed to verifying what really is the truth. And that's how most black folks are. We would rather listen to our pastor tell us what the truth is than read the fucking Bible that we carry to church every Sunday. I walk with my Bible into the sanctuary every Sunday and don't even open it until he or she tells me to open it. And then I'm going to let them interpret the shit for me, and I ain't going to even question it.
That's true. Well, you know, hey, Brian, well, let me ask you this, Brian. Is it, I know it's that, but is it also, like I said, I'm 50. I'm pretty sure we're close to the same age.
I'm 50. Yep.
Okay. So when we were growing up, didn't the media and the news, those journalists, wasn't they a little bit more responsible? Where I remember when I was growing up, I might watch the news on Monday night and they'll say one thing, and then on Tuesday or Wednesday, they'd be doing a correction. Say, hey, man, we got it wrong. Here's an update. I think right now, just that I think people got used to trusting the news like our parents and our grandparents. They trust them so much that they don't look for the truth now.
We've always trusted the news, but there was something that died in media about 24, 25 years ago.
What's that?
Right after around when Clinton got in office. Around that time, that began the decay of journalistic integrity.
Okay, cool.
That's gone.
Gotcha.
It's gone now. Like, it's not, oh, well, you know, this person here does it, that person. No, they all do it. The people who are in charge of the mainstream media, they have literally all sold out. They said, fuck it. We will control and we will push whatever narrative you all want to push because it will continue to keep us relevant and we will continue to enrich us, which is why they are so terrified about social media.
Brian,
we weren't doing this 25 years ago.
Brian,
we were sitting there watching the TV.
Brother, I can't tell you the last time I sat down in front of my TV and watched the fucking news. I haven't watched the news in years. The only time I see the news is if I'm watching you or Tommy and you guys are doing a playback or what happened, or a story, and you breaking it down, doing commentary on it. Otherwise, I don't watch the news. I get my news off social. I go to a couple of social media platforms. I see what they're reporting. I see what one side says. I see what the other side says. Now, 9 times out of 10, I'm watching what the right says, but I always dip over and see what the left says as well, if it's something that can go either way. If it's just something that's straight crazy, I'll just listen to the accurate report. If it's something, but if it's something that, like, you know what, that can go either which way. Let me go see what they said, what this person's saying, who I don't like, versus let me go see what Roland Martin said, and let me go see what Brian said. You know, because it's an in-between thing. I don't know.
Find it. Yes, absolutely.
You know,
and that's the thing. It's like, but we were probably the first generation that was savvy enough to go on the internet, to use computers, and to be able to still watch the news and to still be able to watch mainstream media. And we could delineate between those two. Because like you said, you can go and watch Roland Martin. Our parents don't watch Fox. My mama don't watch Fox News.
Right.
My mama watches CNN. She gonna look at she's not interested in finding out what the other side may say. She's not interested at all. You can tell her Donald Trump is giving $100,000 to black people, and she ain't gonna believe it unless CNN says it. She just won't. She's not even in the mindset to entertain it. So that's how we are as a people when it comes to black folks. It's so many more that are like my mother that won't. I don't want to know the truth. I want you to just tell me what's gonna make me feel good and what I think is the truth. I'm gonna ride with that. And then you have our younger generation who are so fucking disconnected from reality that it doesn't even intrigue them to try to find the truth.
Right. And and I guess for me, it comes a little bit easier. And I would assume for yourself with law enforcement background, I want to hear what the damn offender has to say. I want to know what the victim says. I want to know what the witnesses are saying. I want to see the video, the camera footage. I also want to see what the ET say. Like, let me see the evidence. I want to see it all and come to my own damn conclusion. I want to do that on my own. I don't want to just listen to, if I listen to the victim, I will lock up every guy on a domestic battery.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna lock up. I'm just locking you up. Like, hey, she said you hit her.
Yep.
I don't need to hear shit else.
I don't need to hear shit else because you ain't supposed to hit women. Your ass going to jail, nigga.
Yeah, you going to jail. You ain't no real man. Like, I want to hear everything. I want to know what the witnesses say. I want to know what people got from hearsay. Like, what did you hear? Well, I heard they was going over there to start a fight. I want to know that. I want to know everything.
It's just like when because of that background, it's like we have more of an investigative mentality. I want to get the totality of the circumstances. I want to get all the information and then I'll make my assessment. But I don't have that expectation for everyone else, but I do have an expectation for you to say, okay, I hear what you're saying. Now at least let me verify it. Let me go find out for myself what you just said to confirm if it's true.
Right.
Not that I ain't got to believe you, not that I don't trust you or none of that. I just want to verify what you're saying by looking into it on my own. And they don't want to do that part.
Because I have people who lie to me purposely, and I have people who leave shit out mistakenly, and they just giving it to me from their point of view. And I'm like, well, your point of view don't match up with the facts, though. But I understand you wasn't lying. That's just how you saw it. So that's like with the media nowadays, man. It's like, I just don't understand how, like I said, if I go to my mother-in-law's, every TV is set on The View. And it drives me crazy. I'm like, how can you listen to these women sit there and talk crazy all goddamn day, and you don't even say, let me go look at what they're talking about. Let me go look at the other side, because it can't be, if it's as bad as you say, if this person is evil as you say, you keep saying this man ought to be locked up forever, and I don't even understand the crime the man committed. Let me go at least research the crime that he did. That's what you would think that most people would do when they hear about Trump. They'll say, okay, The View's talking about the dude got 34 felony convictions and he's a convicted felon. Let me go look into these felonies. Let me go look. I just want to see what he got convicted on.
Exactly. And that's my thing. People didn't even want to look at the convictions. Like, what was the crime? They just wanted to say, he's a convicted felon. How can he still get a job? And we got convicted felons that can't get no job.
And black people all know a convicted felon.
And y'all be the same niggas that'll turn around and got 35 convicted felons, and they got real shit. Murder,
and they also
aggravated assault.
They know. We all know somebody who got so-and-so got caught up on a delivery, intent to deliver. And you be like, when you break it down, you be like, hold on, bro. It was a PCS. He had possession of a controlled substance. All that other shit they just added on to him, man. They just threw that on top of it and make it sound like he's a bad person. The truth is, the dude's a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucker had 2 dime bags, and they got him with it. They charged him with delivery or intent. Like, come on, man, calm that down. We know our uncle's a crackhead, or we know he was selling some dope. But all this delivery, like, check it out. The dude that you claim is delivering a big cocaine dealer, why is he broke? Why he got a link card? If he doing all what you claim he doing, he shouldn't be living in Section 8 housing. Be like, you know what? You're right. Be like, just because the police charged him with all this, or the state's attorney did, don't mean it is what it is, man. And that's why I tell people about Trump. I'm like, Fuck all the felonies, man. Let's go see what the fucking crime is, dude. Go research
shit.
that.
He go back. Let's see what this motherfucker about to say.
By all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation, based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have been engaged in making sure that the people and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that there's thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do, okay?
President, do you think there was an assassination attempt?
Here you go.
I don't know enough I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried for President safety?
Hey, Brian.
The president stopping short of calling.
You see how he don't turn his head no more? He can't do this.
Noting that he plans
to turn his whole body around.
Here's the killer part, Brian.
The former president.
That's the first thing. That's probably the first press conference that dude didn't had where he made a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
By saying there's no place for this violence. The problem is during that last election, you never heard any of them say that. They allowed, and for the most part, I don't want to beat up on women, but I remember AOC, Ilhan Ilmar, whatever the fuck her name is. You had Maxine Waters. You had all these different damn women out there who were, even Kamala Harris, she was raising bond money to get these motherfuckers out. It's like, you never seen any of these people step up and say, there's no place for this. In fact, they encouraged it. And the only reason why they do that type of shit, Brian, is because they believe that we have more restraint and we're more, we got more sense and more restraint than they do.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they get away with it. They say, well, Republicans ain't gonna do shit like that. Conservatives won't do nothing crazy. But the thing about it is, we will.
Yep. And that's the thing too. It's like, I hate to get off into the conspiracy shit because I'm a 5% conspiracy theorist, but there is a part of that plays into this because there's some things that just don't add up. Like even with January 6th, number one, they try to say January 6th, it was a coup. You can't have a coup without no guns.
You can't have a coup without no violence, man.
You can't have a coup without no guns. If ain't nobody being held at gunpoint, getting shot or killed, how many motherfucking insurrectioners killed someone? None.
You also got to have a leader with a plan. Like, for instance, there had to be somebody who was coordinating.
Gotta have somebody who's coordinating that shit.
Yeah, say we're going to seize this. Once we take Nancy Pelosi, we're going to demand this. There got to be something in it like that. But like, you can't do it without no guns, man.
Yes, and then the other part, you waving in the people that are these insurrectionists into the Capitol. Who does that?
Exactly. And then you shut it down with the Capitol Police? You mean you didn't have to call the military?
Exactly.
It's supposed to be a coup. It's a coup.
It's a coup. Then
you're supposed to have Navy SEALs and everything in there for that.
You had turned down having the National Guard there for extra added security to the entire city, and you turned that down.
Hey, Brian, the other thing is this. I'm gonna say this. I don't give a fuck what anybody say. If you take whatever the damage was on January 6th, I guarantee it won't compare to one night of one of those summer of love
Seattle,
protests.
Minnesota.
Yep, it
What
won't
they
compare to
did there.
one night. If you get the insurance and say, hey man, so how much damage was done on the Capitol that night?
Exactly.
It's about everything. Okay, how much damage was done when they burnt down this police station and burnt up all these squad cars? How much damage was that? Because we didn't lock up nobody on those.
Exactly.
Now,
And that's
those are
my
actually
thing.
that's a
what
fucking
do
coup,
you
if you ask me.
call the group of people that literally burned down a police station?
Yep.
Protesters? When has protesters ever destroyed the police station?
Peaceful protesting.
Peaceful protesters. It's a summer of protesting. Like, they frame it up differently, and that's because it's just you gotta call it what it is. They're with the bullshit.
Yep.
And they want to stir up that division and create chaos because it allows them to seize power and to continue on with their agenda. That's just flat out undeniable conspiracy theorists right there.
Yep.
These motherfuckers are conspiring to keep this kind of shit going so that it can play to their narrative of they're trying to overthrow our democracy. They're a threat to democracy. Motherfucker, you telling me I can't go outside and you telling me I gotta wear a mask is more of a threat to democracy than some motherfuckers protesting.
Yep. Exactly.
Just saying, but we don't want to look at that part because we're looking at what side is saying it as opposed to who is actually saying this and why they're saying it. The shit that goes on with the riots and shit that happened with George Floyd and all that shit, the Black Lives Matter movement, all of that shit. In the moment, you can have two different opinions. But once you get those facts that solidify what actually happened, what people were actually doing, and you still don't want to call a thing, it goes to show that you want the delusion and you want the fuckery to continue. Because once they realize what Patrice Kahn and Cullits was doing with the money from Black Lives Matter and how none of the victims got a goddamn dime, every nigga should have been pissed the fuck off. Were they? Nope. They shut the fuck up.
Just like what and this what upsets me, man. It's like I said, it's Democrats and Republicans using this shit, and it's the Democrats' fault. I'm gonna tell you why. If you think about George Floyd, think about how the Democrats spent that shit on Trump. I mean, you even had Nancy Pelosi and all these Democrats. Remember they had the cloth on, they all took the kneel.
The kente off?
And they all took the knee, and they was giving all these speeches. And then when Trump tried to reach out to the families, like, no, we don't want to talk to you. You're dividing the country. To me, that's election interference when the media and these politicians should be banned from even doing shit like that. Like, wait a minute.
Exactly.
This George Floyd shit had nothing to do with Republican and Democrat. So why is somebody seizing the moment to capitalize on it and divide the country? That's the person that you should be mad at, because you didn't see Republicans sitting there saying, well, let's take a knee. Let's go meet with the family. Let's do this and do that. They was like, no, they was damn near barred from doing it because of Democrats. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's division right there, man. That's the divide right there.
And that's what they want to do, because if they keep us in that state, then we're more likely to vote emotionally and to think emotionally than we will being logical. Because everybody, when this whole Floyd shit was going on and Black Lives Matter shit, everybody was saying the same thing. It's just like the riots in 68. It's just like the riots in Detroit when they killed King. They equated Black Lives Matter to the civil rights movement.
They were hollering.
Two different things, two different arguments. All of that shit was, I mean, you talking about polar opposites of what was and what we were doing from back then to what happened with those riots. Totally different. But with the narrative of saying, well, we could show how the streets was in 68 after they killed King, and we can show how the streets are today, and we can compare and say it's the same thing. And with those people, like our parents, like those people that are just diehard voting Democrat just because we black and Democrat for black people, because that's what they were taught. I was taught it.
Yeah,
we locked in emotionally.
Yeah, because when
they
you see
do this to Floyd, man, you see how they did that, man.
Yep.
They
and you see, when you see the Democrat Party all taking this knee, putting up these statues and all this kind of stuff, the first thing a young, impressionable mind person, a new voter, or someone who's just thinking with their emotions think is, I must vote Democrat because they're against this George Floyd shit. When the truth be told, Republicans was against what happened to George Floyd. Everybody, every cop, there's not one cop I talked to who approved of my man kneeling on him. Now, you'll get arguments about, well, was he kneeling on his neck or across his shoulder blades? They'll argue and debate that, but they all said, you know what, every cop would come, they all came to this conclusion. They said, we all been cops, right? Like, who wants to be recorded for 8 minutes kneeling on somebody talking about they can't breathe? We don't want to be recorded for 30 seconds.
Yep.
You know, we would have, every cop I talked to said, nah, once we had that motherfucker on the ground and handcuffed, we're going to turn him on his side. We're going to say, bring your knees in. We're going to set him up. We're going to be doing that. He might die, but if he does die, it's going to be plenty of video showing me caring for this motherfucker, trying to help this motherfucker. Nobody is supposed to, your boy seemed that my man who was on his, had the shoulder on, the knee on him, it seemed like he was enjoying the moment and was posing. He was just sitting there posing. And then the worst part about it is you had the spectators saying, I'm a nurse. Let me help. Let me do this. I don't know any cop that wouldn't take the assistance from people when shit gets crazy. Because I know what I do. If I'm on a domestic and a family member says, hey, man, let me help you with her, I'm happy to get that help, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Another
happy
thing
to get
too, he had previously beef with Floyd. He had been into it before with him. So this was just a moment where he like, I got your black ass, nigga. That's just what it was.
Like a trophy.
Yes, he was literally posing on him like he was a fucking deer, like a buck. That's what it was. He was happy that he finally got his ass and he taking him to jail. The problem was, like you said,
optics,
though,
man.
we all know, and my thing is, like I said, if I was there as an officer or if I was there as a civilian, I'm not gonna let you just kill a motherfucker like that in front of me.
Right.
And I would have went, if that's my partner, I'd have been like, get the fuck up, bro.
Yeah. You would have just moved.
And I'm gonna do just like I would have did him, just like I would do a motherfucker on the street. I'm gonna ask you, then I'm gonna tell you, and then I'm gonna make you. Yeah. And I would have grabbed my motherfucking partner and get the fuck up off of him, bro. He's cuffed. That's it. Just like, and I keep telling motherfuckers this all the time. They talk about that. Well, he had fentanyl in his system, and then let the fentanyl kill his ass. You don't need to usher in with your motherfucking knees on this nigga.
And the thing about it is, Brian, is this. If you experience as a police officer, you know how many people I locked up and they OD'd and had some shit happen in my squad car?
Yes.
So I already know, like, if his ass gonna die, it's gonna be from the fentanyl.
It's gonna be
I'm not gonna be taking photos with this motherfucker.
Exactly.
With my knee on. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
He could still die. If my thing is, whatever God's will is, you know, I'm gonna set your ass up. I'm gonna call some paramedics over here for you, and whatever God got for you, that's it. It is what it is. But you are not gonna have me posing, taking photos with you for 8 minutes. It ain't gonna happen. I don't want people taking photos with me for 30 seconds. I'm like, man, put the fucking phone away.
Put the fucking phone away, yes.
You know,
and
I
that's the other thing too.
Shit. Yeah.
From a law enforcement perspective, and people that I've debated this with, that don't have law enforcement training, I don't know of a law enforcement agency that has trained once you got cuffs on, you still hands on. I was taught the complete opposite. All right. All you want to do is get cuffs on this motherfucker. Because once you get cuffs on, hands off. You got this motherfucker.
You know what we do,
Brian? He can't run nowhere. He can't fight no more. If you got to cuff his arms and then you got to cuff his legs, he definitely ain't going nowhere if he's still a problem.
Yep. You typically be talking to the person. And you say, hey, man, I'm gonna set you up. You start giving them instructions.
You start
I'm gonna
giving
roll
it
you on your
exactly.
side.
Yep.
Bring your
Tuck your
knees in.
bring your knees up.
I'm gonna bring
so
you
I
up
can,
and try to set you up. You know?
That's it, bro.
That's
and
all
it's
we
like,
do.
when I was trained for that, that's exactly what they taught us. They're like, okay, you got them now. And once you get them up on their feet, them niggas that be doing it, get the fuck off me, get the fuck off me. They say all you got to do is just ratchet up on them cuffs. That's why you want to put them behind their back. Ratchet up on them cuffs, and motherfucker, you got them. I done had cuffs on and had a nigga just tap my shit, and I'm like, hey, shit, nigga, I'll stop.
Yep.
So it's like, it's motherfuckers that there are so many tactics that you can do once you got cuffs on. A motherfucker that got cuffs on, I'm talking 99% of the time, ain't no problem no more. And if they are, you just gotta shackle their feet. Once their legs are cuffs and their arms are it's over. It's over. Once they got the cuffs on behind their back, it's really over. But if they one of them kicking motherfuckers, cuff them legs, them ankles, it's a wrap, bro. They not doing shit else.
And the fact that they didn't do those steps,
exactly.
We can't say if that dude was going to be resistant and kicking and shit.
Yep.
You got to give the person the opportunity to set up and be a little bit humane, especially if you know. Man, somebody get to hollering, I'm having a heart attack. I can't breathe. I already know how it is when you put cuffs on a big motherfucker and they get excited. They just get to expanding and whatnot. You be like, you know what? Calm down, bro. I'm going to set you up. I'm going to set you up. I'm going to roll you on your side. Breathe, man. Slow down and breathe.
Even when you tussling with a motherfucker, you just tell him, hey, man, the adrenaline is pumping. You excited. You just got to calm down, bro. Breathe, and you'll be fine. Now, I'm going to put you in this car. I want you to tuck your head and put your legs in, bro. I'll turn the AC on. You'll be fine. If you fuck up, it's going to get bad for you.
Brian, I even let the big motherfuckers get in long ways while I let them sit all the way at one end.
All the way back,
Yeah, I'll be like, no, I understand.
Or if it's a big, like them odd niggas, the real big motherfuckers who arms are small, but they big. So you got to double the cuffs. Like, all right, bro, I'm gonna put a double cuffs on you. Cause you can see that. You can see that clearly when a motherfucker like literally can't put their arms behind their back because they that fucking big. So you'll say, all right, cool, bro. I'm gonna double the cuffs. Don't fuck with me though. And I'm gonna tell you, in my experience, when you straight with motherfuckers like that, they just be like, all right, bro. Because you done told them what you're going to do. You going to tell them the consequences if they fuck up. And then usually when they know you that serious and they know you got your shit together, they'll be cool. I can't tell you how many motherfuckers we done went and knocked on the door and said, hey, man, look, we know he in there. He got a warrant. He's going to go to jail today. If he don't bullshit and he just come right out, y'all can probably get him back out today. If he gonna do this bullshit, though, I promise you this motherfucker be in for the whole weekend.
And the thing about it is this, Brian. If they would have done any of the shit that we just talked about with George Floyd, none of them guys would be in jail right now.
Yep.
Even if George died, the evidence will all be there. They'd be like, hey, man, well, they brung him up. They set him up.
Hey, I'm not a doctor.
They ain't a doctor. They made him comfortable. They were talking to him. He just had a heart attack or something.
He had a heart attack. Hey,
we'll
man, we were taking him to the
give the family some money. Give the family some money, maybe. But we ain't doing nothing to the cops. They were more than respectable. But when you do some shit like they did, it's like, God damn. I couldn't even cover for them. Motherfuckers called me out the. Everybody was calling. I said, I don't support that shit. You ain't never seen me do no shit like that to nobody. I don't want to be recorded for 8 minutes. I'm recorded for 8 seconds. A little long, 8 minutes.
Exactly. And that's the thing too. It's like when you look at just the totality of the circumstances and say, hey, here's what we're gonna do, man. Because you don't want to be out in the street like that. Let's get this motherfucker in the car. Let's get him to lock up and we'll have medical look at him there.
Even
if you would have did that, you would have been up and out of that area and would have been gone.
Brian, I've lied to people. To get them to calm down. Like, listen, man, if all it is a fake $20 bill, I ain't gonna take you to jail. I just need you to sit down and calm down. Let me work the shit out, and we'll figure everything out. It's no big deal. I've lied to people just so they can calm down. They sit in the squad car and they be like, Well, where we going? We going to jail, man. They want to sign complaints.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yup.
I'll tell you anything to calm your ass down.
And that's what, and they even tell you that even detectives and shit. People don't realize this, but like detectives are given the training of saying, hey, you need to lie and say whatever you need to say to this motherfucker to get this motherfucker to tell you everything they possibly can. Tell them, hey, man, I'm going to say I could put in a good word for you with the DA, man, if you could just tell me what happened. Man.
Yep.
Look, we already got the information, man. This right now is just pretty much an opportunity for you to show your humanity and to show that it was a mistake if it was. If not, they're going to look at it for what it is, and it's going to be you getting fucked. You fucked this person up, and you did what you did, and you didn't care. If you have any remorse, now's the time for you to do it by telling me what happened.
Yep.
And motherfuckers would be like, they want to unburden themselves to a large degree. But it's like when you don't have the proper training and you don't have accountability, everybody can lose it sometimes. Everybody can get pissed the fuck off. And that's why you need to have a partner. A motherfucker that's going to tell you, hold on, partner, I got him from here. I got him from here. I remember one time we was at a motherfucking, we were at a birthday bash in Michigan. It's like a country and western festival that they have all day, country western motherfucker. So we doing crowd control and motherfuckers up at the stage and we holding the line. Me and about motherfucking maybe 15 motherfucking deputies, we holding the line. And all we telling them is like, hey man, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. Just don't try to break this line and don't come up on us. Just stay back and y'all good. Motherfucker is going in and having a good time. But then you had this drunk motherfucker that want to do just the opposite of what we're asking him to do. So my sergeant steps up, and shout out to Victor too, wherever you at, baby. He steps up and like tell him like, hey man, you doing too much, you going too far, you need to back up. So I'm standing right there next to him watching this motherfucker. This dude literally bumps Sarge. He go up and hit Sarge. Boy, I was about to, I'm literally going, because once I saw him do that, I'm like, we got him on assault. So I'm about to dive on this motherfucker. I'm literally reaching over and Sarge is like, hold on, like, no. He calling me off because I'm like, motherfucker, you ain't about to fuck with my Sarge out here like that. Not with all these motherfuckers. Nigga, you going down. And he like, hold on. And I'm diving on this. I'm ready to dive on this nigga. They pulling me back. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Man, fuck that. And they like, come on, Redman, chill. And I was like, all right, cool. But me, I'm ready to dive on a motherfucker. Cooler heads prevail. And Sarge was like, I appreciate you, man. I love what you did. He's like, but I didn't want to do that because it would have sent up the whole place. Probably would have. And we would have made a hell of a statement like, boy, this black dude at this motherfucking all white goddamn country western western party dove on his drunk ass white. Yup. But it's like your partners are there for that. Not to just sit back and watch you do shit, especially when it's something where it was escalating. And them motherfuckers just sat there like, that Asian fucking cop who turned out to be dude Chauvin's brother-in-law or some shit like that. I don't know what. He was some type of closer relation. He just sat there and watched his ass.
Right. I feel bad for the two rookie cops. They were in FTO training. They like, I'm following what my FTO tell me to do.
Yep.
You know? So that's a whole bad thing, man. I'm like, it's crazy. But like I said, but going back to to this shit here, man, it's like, it just at 50, man, I've sat back and watched these people, man. I'm sitting back like, I've never seen, I look at the Republicans and Democrats, I say, ain't but one side that truly capitalizes on division, hate, and crazy shit.
Yep.
The other side just sits back and got to defend themselves like, I ain't racist. Yep. We ain't tell the police to choke nobody. We don't run the police. And the killer part about it is like, they'll all be complaining about the police and when shit happens with cops. And most of this shit that goes wrong, for the most part, is typically because people don't want to comply, in my opinion. You know, you could fight whatever, even if the police is wrong, deal with that shit in court, not on the street. But typically when there's some bad shit to go on, they protesting and marching, it's typically in a blue run state or area. It'd be some shit where like, wait a minute, you complaining and blaming this on Republicans, but your fucking mayor's a Democrat. everybody, your town is blue. Fuck, you know why are you blaming this on red folks when it's blue people to put these people in charge?
Exactly. And look at Chicago. Chicago's been blue forever. Right?
Yep.
Forever. However, it took literally an invasion of immigrants into the very same black hood ghettos and just black neighborhoods for them to even start challenging the mayor. The only problem Mayor Johnson has is the immigrants and the position that he's taking with the immigrants. And it was the final straw that broke the camel's back that pissed niggas off.
Yep.
And it made niggas say, oh, hell no.
Yeah, but
because it was
Brian.
just constant slap in the face. Constant slap in the face.
And then rub salt on that wound or lemon juice.
Yep.
Think about every time when Lori Lightfoot, Brandon Johnson, anytime a Republican would step up like a Trump and say, hey man, let me send you some help. Keep Chicago out your motherfucking mouth. It's like, wait a minute. It's like, y'all blue. Y'all ran by people who are blue. Your shit's fucked up. But as soon as somebody in a red, a Republican says, y'all want some help, you say, shut the fuck up. But then when shit goes bad, you say, it's the guy, the Republican's fault. The reason why we're having all these problems because of this motherfucker. Like
87 niggas shot over the weekend, 27 dead. The president says, I can send you some help. And you say, as the mayor, keep my name out your fucking mouth.
Yep.
And the people who live in the same areas where them 87 niggas got shot over the weekend, y'all niggas like, yeah, Lori, he need to keep his name out. Nigga, do you realize that you gonna be next weekend?
Yeah.
Do you realize your cousin gonna be next
Makes no
weekend?
Sense, makes no sense.
And they just told, but they're so bought into somebody else thinking for me and telling me how I should think, what I should think. And that's just it. I don't want to hear shit else. It's like there's no fucking way somebody can tell me, hey, I see y'all starving. I got a food truck I can send over to y'all neighborhood. And I bet, man, get the fuck out of my face, man. What? Nigga, at the end of the day, Lori Lightfoot not only got her own personal detail, you can't even drive down that bitch block, nigga.
Facts.
That's how many police she got sitting there when she home and when she ain't. You can't even go down the block, nigga. But you telling me you living in the same motherfucking area where niggas is shooting all day long, niggas is dying every fucking week, and you could get some help and you like, no? And the bitch who says no, you voted for the hoe and didn't say shit behind it?
All over politics.
Yeah.
And the killer part about it is I could say this shit. I don't give a fuck what people say because I voted Democrat all my life. Up until Trump.
I did too.
Up until Trump. Because I was like, well, no. I said, well, I ain't gonna I'm gonna listen to both sides. I mean, I'm not just stuck on one goddamn thing, man. Now I thought all politicians wasn't shit.
Yep.
But when I saw Trump, I was like, well, why you voting on Trump? I was like, if Trump wins, I'm voting on him. Why? I don't like politicians.
Yep.
That's why I'm voting on him. I don't want a politician. I do not want a politician.
Exactly.
I want somebody. If it would have been if Trump would have ran as a Democrat, I would have voted for him.
Yep.
I wanted somebody who just wasn't a politician.
He's not a politician, and he got his own money.
Yep. Not a politician. A politician been crying on the stage. Trump got up. Yep. I think Trump might have said, fuck you, you pussy. If you can go back and rewind and see what he was saying something like,
he was like, fight. He was saying, it was like, keep fighting, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he was saying. He was saying, keep fighting.
Fighting can also be fuck you.
Yeah.
It could be like, fuck you, whoever I've been shooting. You know what I'm saying? So, I just wanted somebody who wasn't.
I like his determination.
Yep.
And it's because people don't realize this, like, what's driving him is not the fact that he want to be president. It's the fact that the motherfucker said he shouldn't be.
Right.
And here's the thing. It hits different when you know the motherfuckers that's running shit and you know how much of a fucking piece of shit that they are.
Yeah.
So it's just like you got the worst of the worst in your community, in your group, in your peers, and you got them telling you that you ain't shit and you shouldn't do whatever. And you like, but I know you. I know you. I know what you do. I know what you've done. Nigga, you the same motherfucker. And you trying to tell me I can't because you don't like me? Fuck you.
Yeah, and the thing about it is this, man, about Trump. If you ask Trump the difference between a man and a woman, he can tell you. If you ask any Democrat right now, anyone, they will not define what a fucking woman is. They won't do it. Biden would be like, he'll talk around that shit.
Yep.
Because he don't want to offend people. I want somebody who don't give a fuck about your feelings. They just tell the truth. Even if you don't like the truth, they tell you what's on their goddamn mind. Cause I can deal with that person. I can deal with someone who says, hey man, that's a female.
Yep.
That's a man. Even if I don't like what they told me, I like the fact that they told me their truth. I don't want somebody who's gonna tell me some bullshit. Like, I know if I ask Biden that same question, he's gonna be like, oh, it's a trick question. He want me to say like, oh, a woman can be anything. It depends on your pronouns. Be like, no. Trump gonna tell you, man, you are a he. You are a man. Fuck all them pronoun shit.
Yep.
You know, that's what I wanted as a president. I didn't want no bullshit.
And here's the thing too. I'm gonna take it a step further. When you look at just the position he's in as a businessman, and people try to say he filed for bankruptcy. Motherfucker, that's a part of business. It's about the ups and downs. It makes you a better businessman when you lost, when you learn from your mistakes. It's like the dude is a fucking billionaire. That's one less motherfucker you gotta worry about trying to get a bag. Because how many motherfuckers now have sold motherfucking countries, sold motherfucking groups and people out for a fucking bag? So no, I don't want you to be up there and you struggling and I know, well, if this motherfucker get offered enough money, we fucked. I don't want that.
Right?
It's like I want a motherfucker who got fuck you money, who could literally be like, hey man, fuck you.
And the thing about it is people who got money and own a lot of shit, when they file for bankruptcy, these motherfuckers gotta, if you own a whole bunch of shit, sometimes you gotta file bankruptcy so you can reorganize shit.
I ain't gotta pay this shit back.
Right.
Yes.
If you got 100 damn Walmarts and you just bring that shit down to like, I need to bring it down to 50. Why? Because with 100, I'm gonna go broke. I need to file bankruptcy, get rid of some of these damn stores, reorganize this shit so we can all keep getting paid. So you can keep your damn job working at Walmart and I can keep making my money. I can't do it with 100. That's why they file bankruptcy. You know, and I ain't got a problem with that.
But see, that's the difference when you don't know when you poor or you broke or you are that lower class and you don't have money. You don't understand money. You don't know how much. I don't even know how it all works. Shit, nigga, I'm a broke motherfucker to a large degree. But it's like I do understand certain things as when rich people file for bankruptcy as opposed to my black ass filing for bankruptcy.
Exactly.
My black ass filing for bankruptcy mean I ain't got shit.
I'm in trouble.
Motherfucker like that filing for bankruptcy saying, yeah, I got some shit, but I just don't want to pay this much back.
Right. Yeah.
And that shit fucking matters.
Because you want to protect your shit. You like, man, I need to protect my other shit. I need to file bankruptcy to protect everything else.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep. That's what it is, man. I'm gonna listen into a little bit more of this shit, bro, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man, and see what else they say. Let there's some other breaking news.
Good talking with you, man.
Hey, bro, I appreciate you, man.
In this traffic jam and are processing what they just witnessed. I want you to hear now from, remind me your name, ma'am?
Vanessa Asher.
Vanessa Asher. Vanessa, you were very close to the former president when this happened. Can you describe to me where you were and what you saw?
We were 6 rows back, right in front of his podium, straight back. And he was talking about his chart on this side. And he was looking directly at his chart. And when he went over to this one, that's when he was grazed here. He was shot. And if he would not have looked at his other chart, it probably would have got him in the head.
So he turned his head just in the nick of time?
Yes, he did. in the nick of time.
And Lester, let me just explain to you, and I want to follow up with you more, Vanessa, but this is what we were talking about earlier. I'll send it back to you, Lester.
I apologize. Things are moving quickly here. We're apparently hearing from the former president himself.
Oh, shit.
Hallie Jackson has it. Hallie?
It is a new post on his online platform, Truth Social. Lester,
That's what I'm talking about.
The president says, and I will read this in full, because obviously this is the first time that we are now hearing from the former president himself since this incident at his rally in Butler. He says, I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, the former president continues, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. He goes on to say, it is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. He also adds, nothing is known at this time about the shooter who is now dead. The former president says he was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. You're looking at that online post now. So he is confirming, he says that he was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of his right ear. He says, I knew immediately that something was wrong and that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Damn. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. And he ends this post by saying, God bless America. So, Lester, some significant questions that are being answered now from the former president here as to what happened, as to how he's doing, as to his state of mind.
There it is.
To the person who was hurt, the person who was believed to be killed there, and thanking law enforcement for their incredibly fast response. And you saw the response, Lester, in one of these remarkable moments as it unfolded. In some quarters, in some places online, there was a live stream of this happening. Obviously, the cameras of every network in the country were on this, given that he is the presumptive Republican nominee, of course, before this happened. And you see the absolute chaos there in Butler that we've been describing from Dasha, from Jillian, from Jake and Bianca and our teams there as the rest of it unfolded there. So again, Lester, the first statement that we are getting from the former president himself, posted as Donald Trump is wont to do, posted on an online platform there on Truth Social. He's looking to get the message out immediately, as quickly as he can, it appears, to the American people, that he appears to be okay, that he's extending his condolences, and specifically what happened, as he says, that bullet hit his ear, Lester.
Yeah, incredible to look at how close that was to hitting a vital area of him. That first description from the former president himself, Hallie Jackson, thanks very much. Our senior White House correspondent, Kelly O'Donnell, joins us. Kelly, you have a new statement from President Biden.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to go to Garrett Hake right now. Garrett?
Lester, in reading that statement from Donald Trump, confirming that, in fact, he was shot in this incident in Butler tonight.
That nigga really is, and forever will be, in my opinion, when I speak of this nigga, Teflon Don, nigga. That nigga is Teflon Don. Bulletproof motherfucker. First it was 50 Cent. Now it's Donald J. Trump, nigga. 45-47. 45-47. Hey, you know what? I need somebody to help me make a t-shirt. I want a t-shirt that got 45-47 on that motherfucker. I wanted to have motherfucking Day Day with that shit from what's that movie? All About the Benjamins. I want to have his face, and then I want to have Trump 45, 47. I want to have that nigga up there. That shit'll be dope as fuck. I need to find me a motherfucker that make t-shirts, man. I swear I do. If anybody out there knows somebody who can make some t-shirts, I need you. I need you. I need you. I need you. Teflon Don, nigga.
Week. Obviously, the former president was set to arrive there on Monday morning. He was expected to be in Milwaukee across those 4 days. These conventions, as many of our viewers know, are very much high security situations. Downtowns locked down days in advance. Very difficult to go in or out. What will change in the security and what will change in the messaging of this convention? We've already seen some of Donald Trump's allies, perhaps most notably his son, Eric Trump, making use of that image on your screen right now, the fist pump from Donald Trump in the moments after we now know that he was shot, to say that this is the fighter America needs, in the words of Eric Trump and in the words of many of his allies, who are, I think, you know, setting aside the moment that we were in.
I'm going to tell you, though, I'm going to tell you, and y'all hear this. Heard it here first. All this shit that's happening to Donald Trump, you know the motherfucker who's really going to be pissed the fuck off? You know the monster of a motherfucker that's going to be created from all this shit? That's going to be tougher than Donald Trump? Barron Trump, nigga. His son, that's like, because Barron, I think, is like 17 or 18 right now. And he's with his daddy a lot. And he see all this shit. I'm telling you. Just like in the movie of not A Few Good Men, but Cuba Gooding Jr. and Robert De Niro. Nigga, a son never forgets. ASNF, nigga. A son never forgets. Barron is gonna be a problem for these motherfuckers. Mark my words. Barron Trump is gonna be that dude. Just wait and see. Y'all heard it here first. Y'all just wait until that nigga get around 25, 26, 27. He gonna be a different type of motherfucker. And I'm telling you, he is going to remember all this shit. And when that motherfucker becomes who he's destined to become, he ain't gonna never forget this shit. Look at RFK right now. RFK whole thing is they killed my motherfucking daddy and they killed my uncle. I got you. That's why he chomping at the bit. I would truly say that Robert Kennedy right now, his biggest regret is the time he spent being motherfucking strung out, being on drugs and shit. Because I know he looks at it now as how he could have gotten so much more done with his life and gotten so much further in politics if he had his shit together 20, 30 years ago. But that Barron Trump, I'm telling you, he is going to be a beast of a fucking politician, businessman, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Just wait and see. Because he's seeing all this shit firsthand, and he's a young lion. And he gonna be real pissed off. Just saying. Just saying. So they shot his ear off, hit him with the Tyson Holyfield, and it was nothing but the grace of God, man. I don't want to think of what life would be like if this man was to be assassinated. I really don't. There are just some things that I don't want to entertain in my mind. I don't want to bring that stress and anxiety of thinking what would become of our country if something happens to this man. Because I'm telling you like this, because of the stress that because of the distress that our country is in right now, we wouldn't be able to successfully handle this. And I'm telling you, there are going to be some people that are not going to be able to accept it. And it's going to be a considerable amount. Whoever's behind this assassination attempt, I would strongly suggest that you reconsider any additional or further efforts, because I'm telling you like this, when you talking about the fall of a nation, the fall of a country, the fall of just life as we know it, these are the kinds of straws that will truly break the camel's back. These are the kinds of issues and incidents that have us on the brink. And if y'all motherfuckers think you can get away with doing this shit and you can cover this shit up and your plan will be all right, don't bet on it. Y'all got away with Kennedy. You got away with Bobby Kennedy. You got away with Malcolm. You got away with King. You got away with Evers. I'm telling you, don't keep pressing your luck, because you are bound to get a whammy. That's all I got to say, man. That's all I'm trying to. If y'all don't get shit else from this, it's only so many times you can do this shit before everything breaks. That's all I'm trying to say. There was a time, just think about this. There was a time when the Roman Empire thought they were unfucking touchable until there wasn't. There was a time when the Persian army thought that they were untouchable until they wasn't. There was a time when Genghis Khan thought he ran the world until he wasn't. Most of the time, when great societies fall, they usually don't see it coming, because if they did, it wouldn't happen. Y'all motherfuckers living in your ivory towers, you motherfucking super elite rich, whatever you want to call it. Trust and believe your money can't solve all your problems. And there are just some things that you don't want to do. Even though you can, it doesn't mean that you should. That's just what it is. There are some times that even though you can, doesn't mean that you should. Because you can start a series of events that you have never foreseen, that you have never conceived to be possible, and shit can hit the fan to where it all goes down. I don't want to see that happen. I want us to be as civil as we possibly can. because I don't want to see it all.
Get back to the
around.
telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick.
Oh, he already said this. That's all I'm saying. I don't want it to get to that point to where all bets are off. The last thing I would want to see and witness is for our country to be at war within itself. I don't want to see it. And I know it's some rich, fancy motherfuckers. Y'all done purchased and built y'all bunkers and all that shit. And y'all think y'all ready for this shit. But I promise you, man, this is not what y'all want to do. It's just not. And it's not that y'all shouldn't want to do it. It should just be the fact that you should know, because you can do it, you shouldn't. That's all I'm saying. So, that being said, it's been a couple hours, man. Some new developments or some other shit pop up, man. I'll definitely be back. I will be back later on tonight to do that part 2 of that Breakfast Club shit. You know, they flagged my shit down, so I got to fix it and try to submit it and get it back up. I mean, it didn't get flagged down. It got deemed ineligible or some shit like that. So I got to fuck with that. But I'll definitely try to be back later on tonight, one way or the other, man. I love you guys. Peace. And I'm out.